How's it going, everyone? It's Alex with AC Flips on YouTube. I'm a full-time six-figure Amazon seller. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to storefront stalk certain sellers on Amazon to find profitable products for your Amazon business. There are certain ways to go about finding certain storefronts that are going to have a bunch of products to sort through, so you are able to hopefully find some profitable products and you don't strike out while sourcing. I know it's really annoying when you source for hours and hours at a time and you're just not able to come across any good profitable leads. So hopefully this method gives you a little bit more to look through and some more efficient sourcing happens because of all the stuff you learn in this video. So if you guys find this video helpful, subscribe to the channel and let's jump right into it. Okay, so it helps to have a category to start with. Kind of gives you a direction of what products you might want to source. Picking a certain category, you're definitely going to find other sellers or storefronts that have more products in that category. So it's a good place to start and then branch out into these other products. And you should find a bunch of products to even look through in that specific category. So we narrowed down the category. Let's pick clothing. And then you want to pick a brand that you know that Amazon doesn't sell or at least isn't on all the time. So a simple one is Nike. So we'll search Nike shirt, just very generic, but we're going to get a bunch of Nike shirts to pop up. We'll just pick any one of these men's classic here. So we open this one up. Amazon shouldn't be on this, but we're not going to look at this specific shirt. We can, but since it's only $20, max cost of $9, really not going to be something we want to look at. But what I'm more interested in is the other sellers on this listing, right? All of these sellers at some point found this product profitable. So there's a good chance they had other profitable products in their store. So we want to look at some of these other sellers and we want to stay to the review count within, 5 to a couple hundred. We don't want to go above that. We don't want to have somebody with 0 because they probably just don't have a ton of products in their store. They're just starting out, might not be as good at sourcing. And then the ones with a ton of reviews probably has some sort of wholesale products, and we want to avoid those because we're not going to be able to find those with online arbitrage. Someone like this, 9,000 reviews, probably has some wholesale products. But someone like this with 6 or 200, that's even better. 282 reviews, not quite high enough to have a ton of wholesale products, but enough where it seems like they had experience selling online arbitrage and have been around enough to be able to source good products. So we're going to open up their storefront. You click that FBA button. Brings up their storefront in Seller Amp. You can see they sell a bunch of Nike products, some Skechers, Adidas, Merrell, Fujifilm. And because they're selling certain Nike, you can't get Nike wholesale. So that means that a lot of these other products that they're selling, different Nike brands, you can find these OA as well, most likely. So Fujifilm, we should be able to find that. OA, Adidas, should be able to find those products. OA, Skechers, Nike. As long as you're ungated in these, it's worth looking into. All these brands should have OA products. So because we're looking in the clothing category, we can sort by Nike or Adidas or Skechers. Amazon is on some Adidas listings, but there are some variations that they don't sell, and those are maybe some hidden gems to look into. But I'm just going to stick to Nike for simplicity of the video here. And basically what we can do is just scroll through all of their Nike products and see which ones we might be able to source. Certain things I look for is on the Keep a chart, a fairly flat buy box price. You can see that 3 months ago, this was selling around 30. It's still selling around 30, even a little higher. So that's a good sign. Something like this, where it started at $40 all the way down to almost $10. That's a really bad drop there. Probably a bunch of sellers on the listing. You can see over 100 now. There was probably only 10 to 20 at the beginning. So that's the kind of product we want to avoid. And again, something that tanked like that, we're not going to be able to find it profitable at this low price anyway. But that's what I look for on the Keep a chart side. Otherwise, on the left side here, I'm looking at the rank. I'd like to stay under 150,000 for clothing. If it's got a good enough margin, I'll go up to 200K. But that's kind of my threshold there. I'm normally able to find stuff under 50,000, and that seems to sell pretty quickly. I always look at the offer count, depending on the rank and depending on the variation. I'm okay selling stuff with 100 offers on it. Ideally, we want to get under 20 offers or 30, something like that, where there's not a ton of movement in the price because there's not a ton of sellers to tank the price. Certain products are going to have a lot of sellers on them because the product sells so quickly. There needs to be a lot of sellers to maintain that rank. So keep that in mind. Obviously, we look at the buy box and then we want to understand the max cost. When you sell enough items, you're going to start to understand that finding a 6-pack of socks for $11 is going to be pretty tricky. So those kinds of products maybe you can weed out by just first glance instead of looking into the product. The goal when you're sourcing is to get through as many products as possible. So like this, if we see a hat and gloves and the max we can spend to achieve our minimum ROI and profit is 55 cents, obviously we're going to skip that, not looking at any other data. You can just see the max cost. We're never going to be able to achieve under $1 in any buy cost that we have unless we're wholesale. So some products we can skip right over, and that's going to help us get through more products in our sourcing session, and that's the goal. So let's just say we found one that looks decent, right? The chart's flat, 22K rank, max cost $37. Seems reasonable for a sweatshirt. Maybe it's low, maybe it's high if you don't have enough experience, but if it's on the cusp, maybe it's worth looking into. Only 24 sellers. So next we can look into the Amazon product, looking at this because there's probably going to be variations. So we click that button, opens up, yep, all the variations here. And what we want to do is find the fastest or one of the fastest selling variations. And we can do that by going to the Keep a Chart and highlighting the variations tab. This is going to list all the variations. We want to sort by ratings. We can see that the ones with the most amount of ratings probably sell the most. So we want to stick to those ones that have a decent amount of ratings, right? Something with 92 ratings still sells a good amount. Compared to something with 1 rating for how long this item has been listed. We can see that it's been listed for a couple years and it's only got 1 rating over that time. So probably something we want to avoid there, but something that's got over 100 ratings, even though it's 4% compared to, the top one that's 22%, still be able to sell some of those. So we're looking at the current buy box price and we want to pick maybe one that's the highest that still has a good amount of ratings. So this white medium, $78, $79, that's a pretty good buy box price. That's going to increase our max cost based on our criteria of profit and margin. So you can see $38 at a $70 buy cost. Let's just look at the chart and make sure that we have that right. So it looks like $78 is closer to the buy box. It was trending at 85. Maybe some more sellers came on listing. It looks like it's uptrending, which means the price might actually get down to that $70 by the time we list it. But we're going to keep what the current buy box is, which is $78. We can see our max cost on something like this is just over $44. So next thing we want to do is search this product in Google. The Google button in SellerAmp copies and pastes the title of this Amazon product into Google. So you can basically auto search the product and hopefully find it. You can see Nike's got products for $42. So maybe they have a white version. So we have the color white. Looks like they don't, but 42 is under what we need. So if they ever came out with a white version, this would be profitable, right? We type in 42 and we see we'll make $13, 32% ROI. That's if we don't have sales tax, like if you're sending it to a prep center like I would be. But this would be a profitable product. So that is how you are going to scan for products. And once we find this product, then we're going to go on to the next product, right? We can go back to that storefront that we found the one good product on. Chances are, if they have one good profitable product, there's definitely more where that came from on that site. So like at the beginning, it showed they had 288 Nike products. So even if 5% of those you're able to find profitable, that's at least 5 to 10 leads you can find just by going through almost 300 products. That doesn't take super long. Like I said, you'll be able to weed out some of the ones that seem unreasonable or that don't have a good chart or that don't have a good rank or that have too many sellers on the listing. So all those things combined, you should be able to get through a good amount of products while sourcing, and hopefully you're able to find some profitable ones in the process. All right, so that's the basic of storefront stalking in Amazon Seller Storefront. This is the method that I use the most and I have the most luck with, so hopefully you guys get as much value out of this as I do when sourcing. If you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.